All right, everybody, welcome back. You ready to jump into another deep dive?
Absolutely. Always ready to go deep on important topics.
I think today's topic is one that a lot of folks might think they have a handle on, you know?
Oh, definitely. It's one of those things that's always kind of floating around in the back of your mind.
But, and I'm raising my hand here too because I've been there, it's easy to get tripped up by some of those common misconceptions about life insurance.
You're not wrong. There are definitely some myths out there that need busting.
So that's the mission today. We're going to clear the air, lay out the facts, and hopefully help you get a little bit more comfy with the whole life insurance thing.
Sounds like a plan. We've got a ton of great info from some solid sources that I think will really open some eyes.
All right, so where do we even begin with this whole life insurance mystery? I guess for me, the biggest question mark has always been like, who really needs life insurance?
Yeah, that's a great place to start. And honestly, that's where a lot of those myths we were talking about come in.
Okay, so spill the tea. What's myth number one that we need to debunk right off the bat?
All right, so buckle up. Myth number one. Life insurance is just for older folks, people with families and kids and all that.
Okay, I'll admit I totally bought into that one for a long time.
I mean, it makes sense on the surface, right?
Sure, it seems logical. Yeah, you're thinking about protecting your family, making sure they're taken care of if something happens to you.
Exactly. But is that really the whole story?
Not quite. The thing is, anyone with any kind of financial responsibility could benefit from life insurance, no matter what their age or family situation looks like.
So, even if you're single, no kids, still living that carefree life, even then, think about it. You probably still have debts, right? Maybe student loans, credit card balances, car payments, that kind of thing.
Okay, yeah, true. Most of us aren't exactly swimming in cash, even without a family to support.
Right. And those debts don't magically disappear just because you're not around anymore. They become someone else's problem.
Wow, yeah, that's a really good point. I hadn't thought about it that way before.
It can be tough to face, but that's where life insurance comes in. It's a way to make sure those financial burdens don't fall on your loved ones, even if you're not a parent.
Okay, so we've officially busted myth number one. Life insurance isn't just for older people or families. It's for anyone who wants to protect their loved ones from dealing with their debts.
Exactly. It's about responsible financial planning, no matter what stage of life you're in.
Makes total sense. All right, so let's move on to another myth that I think keeps a lot of people from even considering life insurance in the first place.
I bet I know which one you're going to say.
Hit me with it.
The cost. The big bad myth that life insurance is just way too expensive for the average person.
Bingo. That's the one. And honestly, it's a little intimidating to think about adding another monthly expense to the pile.
Totally get it. No one wants to feel like they're drowning in bills. But here's the thing. The cost of life insurance is actually way more flexible than a lot of people realize.
Okay, now I'm intrigued. Break it down for me.
Well, first of all, there are different types of life insurance, and they all come with different price tags. Term life insurance, for example, is generally super affordable, especially if you're younger and healthy.
Wait, hold on. Different types of life insurance. So it's not just a one-size-fits-all kind of deal?
Nope, not at all. You've got options. And understanding those options is key to finding the right fit for your budget and your needs.
All right, let's back up for a sec. Tell me more about this term life insurance. Why is it usually cheaper?
Think of it like renting versus buying. Term life is like renting coverage for a specific period, say 10, 20, or 30 years.
Okay, so like if I get a 20-year term life policy, I'm covered for 20 years and that's it.
Exactly. And because you're essentially renting the coverage for a set time, the premiums are usually lower, especially if you're younger and considered a lower risk.
That makes sense. So what's the buying equivalent in the life insurance world?
That would be whole life insurance. It's designed to provide lifelong coverage, kind of like owning a home instead of renting.
So with whole life, the premiums are probably higher, right?
Typically, yeah, but there's a trade-off. Whole life policies also build cash value over time, kind of like a savings account.
Whoa, okay, now things are getting interesting. So it's like you're paying for protection and building a little nest egg at the same time.
You got it. It's a more complex type of policy, and it definitely comes with a higher price tag, but it offers that extra layer of financial benefit.
Man, who knew life insurance could be so multifaceted? So we've got term life, which is like renting coverage, and whole life, which is like buying coverage and getting a savings account bonus.
Sure.
Are there any other options in the mix?
There are. We've also got universal life and variable life, which offer even more flexibility and potential for growth, but they also come with their own sets of considerations.
Wow, so it's like A whole buffet of life insurance choices. I guess that's why it's so important to do your homework and figure out what really aligns with your individual situation.
100%. It's not a one-size-fits-all thing, that's for sure.
Okay, so we've tackled the myth that life insurance is only for older folks or families, and the myth that it's always super expensive. But I have a feeling we've only just scratched the surface here.
Oh, we've got plenty more to uncover. There are a few other common misconceptions floating around that we definitely need to address.
All right, let's keep busting those myths. What's next on the list?
This one pops up a lot, especially among single folks.
Let me guess, it's something along the lines of, I'm single, I don't need life insurance.
You nailed it. It's a common refrain, but here's the thing. Even if you're not married or don't have kids, you probably still have people in your life who depend on you in some way.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe you help your parents out financially, or you're supporting a sibling, or even a close friend.
Exactly. And even if you don't have any direct dependents, remember those debts we talked about earlier, those don't magically disappear just because you're single.
Right. So life insurance could help ensure that your loved ones, whoever they might be, aren't left footing the bill for your outstanding loans or other financial obligations.
Exactly. It's about taking responsibility and protecting the people you care about, regardless of your relationship status.
Okay, I am officially convinced single folks don't sleep on life insurance. All right, what other myth-busting adventures do we have in store?
Okay, this next one often comes from folks who have life insurance through their employer. They figure, hey, I'm covered, right?
Ah, the classic, my job has me covered misconception. But I have a sneaking suspicion there's more to the story.
You're right on the money. While employer-provided life insurance is a fantastic perk, it usually has some limitations.
Like what?
Well, for starters, the coverage amount is often tied to your salary, maybe 1 or 2 times your annual income.
Okay, so if you're making, say, $50,000 a year, your employer-provided coverage might only be $50,000 or $100,000.
Exactly. And depending on your individual circumstances, that might not be enough to fully cover your debts, let alone provide long-term financial security for your beneficiaries.
Right, especially if you have a mortgage, student loans, or other significant financial obligations.
Plus, what happens if you switch jobs? That employer-provided coverage might not follow you to your new position.
That's a really good point. So even if you have life insurance through work, it's worth considering getting an individual policy as well to fill in any gaps and ensure you have enough coverage no matter what life throws your way.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Individual coverage gives you that flexibility and peace of mind, knowing that you're in control of your own financial safety net.
All right, so we've tackled myths about age, family status, cost, and even employer-provided coverage. But I've saved the best for last, the myth that I think is the most pervasive and potentially the most damaging.
Oh, I think I know which one you're going for. The idea that life insurance is just a scam, a risky investment, or some kind of shady financial scheme.
Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner. And I'll admit, I think there's a lot of misunderstanding out there about how life insurance actually works and what it's really designed to do.
Absolutely. It's important to remember that the primary purpose of life insurance is protection, not profit.
So it's not like playing the stock market or gambling on some risky investment.
Not at all. It's about creating a safety net for your loved ones, ensuring that they have financial resources if something were to happen to you.
Okay, so walk me through it. How does that protection actually work?
When you buy a life insurance policy, you pay premiums, kind of like monthly payments, and in return, the insurance company agrees to pay a death benefit to your beneficiaries if you pass away.
So that death benefit, it's like a lump sum of money that goes to the people I designate in my policy.
Exactly. It's a predetermined amount that can be used to cover all sorts of expenses: funeral costs, outstanding debts, mortgage payments, everyday living expenses, even future educational costs for your children.
Wow, so it's really about providing that financial stability and peace of mind
Right.
for the people you care about most, ensuring that they're not left struggling financially if you're no longer around.
You got it. It's about taking care of the people you love, even after you're gone.
That's actually really beautiful when you think about it that way.
It is. And while some types of life insurance, like whole life, do have a cash value component that can grow over time, the primary focus is always on that protection element.
Okay, so we've officially debunked 5 major myths about life insurance. We've learned that it's not just for older folks or families. It can be more affordable than you think. Even single folks can benefit, and employer-provided coverage might not be enough. Plus, it's not some shady investment scheme. It's about protecting the people you love.
Mic drop. We did it.
Yeah,
But myth busting is only part of the story, right?
totally. We've got to talk about the facts, the juicy details, the stuff that really makes life insurance worth considering.
You're telling me. And we've got some great info from our sources that I think will really resonate with folks.
All right, hit me with the facts. What are some of the key takeaways that we absolutely need to share with our listeners?
Okay, here's one that really struck a chord with me. It's not just about the financial support. It's also about the emotional relief that life insurance can provide.
Oh, yeah. Imagine going through the grieving process while also having to worry about how you're going to pay the bills or cover funeral costs.
It's heartbreaking to even think about.
Hmm.
But having that life insurance policy in place can lift a huge weight off the shoulders of your loved ones, allowing them to focus on healing and remembering you without that added financial stress.
It's like you're giving them the gift of peace of mind during a time when they need it most.
Exactly. And speaking of gifts, here's another key fact. Life insurance can actually be surprisingly affordable, especially if you start early.
Wait, so, like, the younger you are, the less you'll have to pay for coverage.
In most cases, yes. The younger and healthier you are, the lower your premiums are likely to be. It's all about risk assessment for the insurance companies.
Okay, that makes sense. So it's kind of like getting a head start on your financial well-being.
Absolutely. And the sooner you start, the more time you have to build that financial safety net and ensure that your loved ones are protected no matter what the future holds.
All right, so we've got peace of mind and affordability. What else you got?
All right, here's one that I think is super important to highlight. Remember how we talked about different types of life insurance earlier?
Yeah, term life, whole life, all that good stuff.
Right. Well, it's crucial to understand that there's no one best type of life insurance. It really depends on your individual needs and financial goals.
So it's kind of like choosing the right pair of shoes. You wouldn't wear sneakers to a formal event, and you wouldn't wear dress shoes to go hiking.
Perfect analogy. Term life insurance, for example, is great for covering temporary needs, like a mortgage or young children. But if you're looking for lifelong protection and a potential savings component, whole life might be a better fit.
Okay, so it's all about finding the right tool for the job, so to speak.
Exactly. And that's where talking to a financial advisor can be super helpful. They can assess your situation, explain the pros and cons of each type of policy, and help you make an informed decision.
Solid advice. Now, I got to bring up something that totally blew my mind when I was doing research for this deep dive. You can actually customize your life insurance policy with all sorts of extra features, like riders.
Riders, they're like the secret weapon of life insurance. They let you personalize your coverage to fit your specific needs, kind of like adding toppings to your pizza.
Okay, I'm officially hungry now. But seriously, tell me more about these riders. What kind of cool stuff can you add on?
Oh man, the possibilities are pretty amazing. You can get riders for long-term care, disability income, critical illness coverage, even accidental death benefits.
Whoa, so it's like you're building a super-powered life insurance policy tailored to your individual risks and concerns.
Exactly. It's all about taking that basic protection and making it work even harder for you.
Okay, so we've got peace of mind, affordability, different types of policies to choose from, and even the option to customize with riders. I'm sensing a theme here.
What's that?
It seems like life insurance is all about options. It's not a one-size-fits-all thing. It's about finding the right fit for your individual circumstances and making it work for you.
You hit the nail on the head. Life insurance is a powerful tool that can be customized to provide a safety net for you and your loved ones, no matter what life throws your way.
And to wrap things up, I think it's worth mentioning that there might even be some tax advantages to having life insurance.
Oh yeah, that's a sweet bonus that a lot of folks don't even realize.
So it's like you're getting peace of mind, potentially lower premiums if you start early, the ability to customize your coverage, and you might even get a little tax break.
You got it. Life insurance is definitely worth a closer look.
All right, so I think we've covered a ton of ground today, from busting those pesky myths to diving deep into some pretty fascinating facts.
Yeah, we've really unpacked the world of life insurance.
But before we sign off, I want to leave our listeners with a question to ponder. Given everything we've discussed today, what are your priorities when it comes to financial security?
That's a great question to reflect on. What steps can you take today to ensure that you and your loved ones are protected, no matter what the future holds?
This deep dive has definitely been eye-opening.
Absolutely. And remember, this is just the beginning of the conversation. There's a whole world of knowledge out there to help you navigate the sometimes complex, but ultimately super important world of life insurance.
Thanks for joining us today for another deep dive. We'll catch you next time for another fascinating exploration of a topic that matters.
See you then. Bye.